Q3 earnings with Virgin Galactic, this was absolutely amazing, okay? We are diving without any further ado right into the presentation. It was an amazing quarter. In this Virgin Galactic vlog, I would like to dive deep into the Q3 earnings with these categories. First, we will talk about the revenue forecast, the spaceports. Then we will talk about the demand and reservation, which grow significantly quarter over quarter. Then we will talk about the timeline. Finally, we will dive into financials. And lastly, into the team. That was finally, probably the best introduction so far we had into the team. If we are talking about potential revenue for Virgin Galactic stock, then it was always a kind of mystery. How many flights can we do? How many spaceships? How much revenue per spaceport, right? And where will be the spaceport? Some of those questions were answered just in the earnings presentation. And let me dive into it. First of all, you're seeing here on page 7 of the presentation that we are going into the next chapter, which they say they want to fly thousands and thousands of people to space. What does it mean, guys? Okay, first of all, you need to understand that starting from a niche business is very well, okay, very well if you're starting with a niche business, because then you can build brand, you can build revenue, you can build stability for the company. This is also featured in the book 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel. This is how the cover looks like. Make sure to order this book. There's no affiliate links or anything here in these vlogs, so make sure to check out this book because it's very well written. However, so they are saying we are taking a multi-year effort targeting 400 flights per year per spaceport. Now there's two things. First of all, it's multi-year, so they are getting there, okay? This is number one. Secondly, they say per spaceport, which is meaning that we will have multiple spaceport, which is fantastic, guys, okay? This is where we wanted to go, okay? Multinational operations, everywhere spaceport on each continent, and so on and so forth. So this is important, guys. This is very important for the growth of Virgin Galactic. And then came, something that I really liked, which was the 1 billion revenue opportunity per spaceport. This was obviously very important to understand, okay, how much revenue they are counting on this niche product of space tourism, and it's 1 billion per spaceport. So I hope that we soon will have on every continent one spaceport, which will allow us to have lots and lots of billions of revenues, and it's just a matter how fast we can scale, because the demand is something that is very easy for Virgin Galactic. The next point is very important, guys, because it's about the growth and demand. I was actually kind of shocked how good the first step initiative is selling. But let's take it step by step. On page number 12 of the current presentation of the Q3 earnings, Virgin Galactic said that they will retiring the One Small Step program. I think there's a couple of reasons. First, I believe it's much better to have a no reservation fee than a reservation fee. Because think about it. There is some really big guys out there. They don't like to pay in advance or put something down that what they don't know for, right? So I think we will have much more bigger numbers and much bigger pool of this 2 million people that are the target group of Virgin Galactic, the high spend and high net worth individuals. And I think that this barrier of putting down $1,000, even though it brings less work for Virgin Galactic crew, because they have to call less people, talk about them and talk with them. I think it's much interesting that to say, okay, register if you're interested and we will call you, and then in the call, it could be a 5-minute call, you already know if this is a serious inquiry or not. So I think it's really important to understand that it's very, very great that they are retiring this program. And secondly, a pool of close to 900 participations is way up from the 700 that they claim to have the last quarter. So it's about 30% almost growth quarter over quarter. And this is fantastic, guys. This is music in my ears, okay? This is just an incredible move towards, no demand problems. We know demand problems from Tesla, and, short sellers are saying, who will come and fly that thing? But I think that demand will not be a problem, but the challenge will be the scaling. How fast can we get new spaceships? How fast can we have a new spaceport? And so on. Those are the real questions that Shamas and his team has to bite their teeth off. You know what I'm really happy about? As you have seen Virgin Galactic Fridays just a couple of days ago, I put there a timeline just by my own feeling and experience with Virgin Galactic, and then came the Q3 earnings, and it was just on point. I mean, I couldn't be more on point. Let's have a look. I said, in the very beginning that we should have the power test flight somewhere around end of November, beginning of December. What was announced? The flight will be between the 19th and 23rd of November, which is fantastic. Then I thought that the next rehearsal powered flight will be in the Q1. And what is going to be announced in the Q3 earnings? Exactly that, And then obviously towards end of the Q1, I think that Richard Branson will fly into space. And exactly this is the new timeline now confirmed even by the Virgin Galactic team. So I really, if you like this kind of content, then make sure to smash the like button and also subscribe. I'm really, really encouraging you to subscribing and ringing the bell, because this is very important for this channel to further extend the community, to not miss any content. I have a second channel that you can subscribe as well if you like. So there's so much that we can talk about Virgin Galactic that I think that you should be subscribed, okay? However, this timeline shows us that we are still on place, okay? Still on place on this huge historic event with Richard Branson. And secondly, I would like to know how sure we are that those milestones will be achieved in this timeline. Okay, this is very important, and it seems that now we are on track. But I would love to see, I know it sounds stupid, but I would love to see that this will be, delayed for another quarter. Why? Because then we could really cheap, buy into Virgin Galactic again. And then, this would be absolutely my dream. But, you can dream, you can vision, but in the end, it is what it is. And it seems that we are on track. So positive news in the end of the day for all Virgin Galactic investors. Page 14 of the presentation, as you can see, we are diving a little bit into the financials. But what I want to tell you guys, what big financial media are focusing, which is the financials, is not that relevant as of now for Virgin Galactic. It's not a stock where you are going into, big earnings, if we beat the earnings, if we have enough revenue. It's more about, okay, we just had the 400 plus capital raise because we issued some new stock, which I think was a brilliant move considering the stock price back then. And we are just, continuing to grow the business while we are obviously burning money. And the only thing that I am interested in, how is the burn rate? And we are just a little bit more than last quarter. As you can see here, we burned 77, this was the net loss. And if you're considering that we have 742 in the bank, and revenue is already coming in through the NASA payload test that we will have on the next power test flight, I think it's a pretty good deal. We have like 10 quarters, which is approximately, 2.5 years where we basically, you know, can do nothing and just burn and burn and burn. So I think, you know, we are in a pretty good stable place for Virgin Galactic, and I would love to encourage you to really go through the noise always that the current situation is on the stock market in terms of, you know, what are the numbers, what is the expectation. This doesn't count for Virgin Galactic that much, or is this big of a factor for the future of the company. Rather, you should be interested, okay, how they can scale and how much does it cost to scale. And I think that those numbers are very, very, you know, young still, so they will be optimized over the long run, so they will get better and better. The spaceships will be cheaper and cheaper, more effective. The spaceports maybe will be built by those countries itself, like it was the new Mexico state spaceport was, for example, totally built by taxpayers' money in the US, just to, you know, have this beautiful facility and have more and more economy advantages for the region as well. So I think, you know, we are in a pretty good place financially as well. So let's jump to the final point. On page 8 of the presentation, we are deep diving into the team the very first time, right? Because Virgin Galactic doesn't has like a chief engineer or a, you know, a really hard outgoing CEO yet. You know, we have obviously Shamas, but Shamas is not a person that, you know, going every week on CNBC or crazy on his Twitter account. But however, it's always important, and this will be the task for myself, and this should be the task for you as well. Go in detail into the investments that you do. And this means Google the people that were introduced by the company who are important for the company, okay? So this is, in this case, Tom Pugh, Senior Vice President Programs and Engineering, Byron Henning, Vice President Spaceships, right? Then you have Rob Sjoestedt, who is VP Manufacturing. Then you have Connie Soper, Senior Director, Rocket Motors and Propulsion Systems. You have Sarah Tash, Vice President Business and New Program Development. Eric Schwartz, Senior Director Motherships. And you have the new pilots, Patrick and Jamil. So I am doing the following now. So in the next couple of days, I'm going onto LinkedIn, onto other platforms, Google obviously, and search, you know, what I can find about those people. So what is my focus on those people will be, what is their experience, what is their achievements, what I can find in terms of articles, maybe they have some publications, what I can find out about their history, you know, how they fit into the team. Maybe some of them work together already in some companies. This would be obviously of a plus because they know each other. But what will be very important also, how long they are already with Virgin Galactic. As longer they are, sometimes it's a great sign to have in terms of trust and how things going. But on the other side, a good advantage is also if they, you know, just are fresh into the team, bringing new wind into the communications and developments of the product. So, you know, it's, I think the optimal case would be in this case that we are going into a team that is, you know, slowly new, you know, or new to the task that is upcoming, and on the other hand have an experienced team that is maybe longer on board and have huge experience in, you know, propulsion systems. So I think, you know, in terms of business and development, maybe a newer team, and in terms of engineering, a little bit of older team, but it could be mixed up as well. So I will definitely update you here, so you should stay subscribed and ring the bell.